Hey, what's up? This is Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Marathon Digital, ticker symbol MARA. And I will also be going over RIOT, ticker symbol RIOT, and CleanSpark, ticker symbol CLSK, going over a few Bitcoin mining companies. Excuse me. And so to start with Mara, I just have a few lines drawn up here that I think will be important. The first one is this white uptrending level of support, beginning from this low at $3.11, and then having some touch points over here around the beginning of October 2023. And so above that, we have this yellow line. And so I see that as potentially acting as support in the near future, basically because it has served as support over here and beginning from this touch point on May 12th, 2022. And it's also served as resistance throughout time. So I think that what I find compelling with this chart is a pullback to test not only the uptrending white line, but also that yellow level of support. And so those converge right around January 9th. So it's possible there will be a pullback with Mara and or other Bitcoin mining companies. Also, next, and so I should note that that level at that level that's yellow is at $8.80. Then the next level above that, that's an orange, is at $13.79 based on the high from this day of October 6th. And looks like there was a little bit of a break above that level, but it was recently tested as resistance, rejected. And so I suspect that will serve as resistance. Perhaps that will be the level that this is rejected from before returning to this white trend line. So that is a possibility. Once breaking above the orange line at 1379, I do think that 1951, right around there, 1950, I do think that will serve as notable resistance, considering the support when it was initially touched on February 24th, basically a near attempt at hitting that as resistance, and then most recently that being the highest level of resistance here. And so I could see once 1950 is hit, there is a pullback, and then 1379 is tested as support. And then the biggest run that I see on here would be going up to $31.44 based on this high on let's see, that's February 10th, 2022. There was a brief break above that, but since then it has yet to be tested. But there might actually be some resistance before getting to that level. As I notice my cursor here, it does look like there's a good amount of consolidation in this area. So that might serve as resistance in getting up to that blue level at $31.44. And then so looking at RIOT and CleanSpark, I basically just considered the same levels based on the same peaks or dips on basically the same days. So looking at RIOT, looks pretty similar. However, flipping back to Mara real quick, Mara is above the yellow line here with the orange still above. With RIOT is above both of those levels. So I find that kind of odd. I would expect them to behave more similarly. So it's possible that, maybe for RIOT, if this uptrending level of support is not respected, if it's broken through, it would have more of a downside to get to not only the yellow line, but also this orange line here. So like, for example, if Mara was to come down to the yellow line, that's meeting the uptrending level of support. So there's a lot of support there. But with RIOT, if it was to go to that yellow line, that's a pretty big dip. So I find that comparison between them to be pretty interesting. I did not expect to see that. But, hopefully this uptrending level of support is respected. And that is what is followed for all of these stocks moving forward. And then CLSK, I found this one to be kind of the most odd because the orange and yellow levels are switched, but they are based on the same dip here. That's where you get the yellow, and the little peak here, that's where you get the orange level. So you can see that comparison here. So the structure of the charts is just a little bit different. So I find that pretty interesting. But basically the same thing. If this were to come back to that yellow level, that would be, great. It would not have to go all the way down to the white uptrending level of support. But if it did, then it would have to then break above that yellow level. So yeah, I find that to be pretty interesting. Since I made these lines based on the Mara chart. I think this is the one that's most valid as far as the levels that I've drawn. But yeah, so what I see in the near term is in upward moves to test this orange line at 1379. I suspect it will be rejected before a pullback, coming to the white uptrending level and the yellow level at $8.80 around the beginning of January. However, I could be completely wrong about that, but that's just what, looks compelling to me in the charts. So I hope that was helpful for you. And if it was, make sure you like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching.